Caleb Brooks slams the glass door open with his shoulder, breath jagged, a stack of reports tilting in his arms. The hallway is too bright, too quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your shoes sound guilty. He glances at the room number again. 4B, right? His phone buzzes in his pocket like a hornet, and the screen flashes a missed call from Sky's school. He winces, shifts the papers, and knocks once without waiting. He steps in. The air is cool and smells faintly like citrus and expensive perfume. Sunlight cuts across a sleek office, catching dust motes in a slow spin. A woman stands near a private wardrobe wall, halfway turned, white blouse open at the collar, hands mid-button. She freezes. Her copper-red bob swings slightly, then stills. Her eyes lock on him, wide, sharp, impossible to read. Caleb's mind blanks the way a TV does when the signal drops. The reports slide out of his grip. Paper flutters to the floor, soft slaps on marble, like 100 tiny mistakes landing at once. "Oh, ma'am," his voice cracks. He takes a step back, then another, heel catching on a fallen folder. "I'm sorry, I thought this was... I didn't mean..." The woman doesn't scream. She doesn't cover herself. She simply buttons one last button, slow, controlled, like she's sealing a vault. Then she reaches for a black blazer draped over a chair and slips it on without looking away. Her posture is straight as a ruler. The silence hangs so hard Caleb can hear the buzz of the ceiling lights. "Close the door," she says. The words are calm, but they hit like a gavel. Caleb doesn't move fast enough, and her eyebrow lifts just a fraction. His hands fumble for the knob behind him. The door clicks shut. The click sounds final. "Name," she says. He swallows. His throat feels tight, like he ran a mile with a mouthful of sand. "Caleb Brooks, facilities. I'm here with inventory summaries for... I'm sorry. I must have read the number wrong. I'm a single dad. I got a call from..." "Stop." Her voice is level. That makes it worse. "You're on the executive floor." "Yes, ma'am." "I had clearance for a delivery. I swear I wasn't trying to..." "Look at me." He forces his eyes up. Her face is flawless in a way that feels unfair. Not soft, not warm. More like someone who learned to never show fear. A scar-thin line cuts through one brow, giving her a permanent edge. He recognizes her now from the hall portraits. Serafina Vale. The CEO, the one the board calls the Storm, the one who fired a vice president on a live stream last year and didn't blink. Caleb's chest tightens. His heart beats once, hard. The papers on the floor feel like a crime scene. "Yes, Ms. Vale," he whispers. Her gaze flicks to his badge, then to the reports scattered at her feet. "Pick those up." He kneels fast, palms sweaty, fingers clumsy. His face burns. He can feel her watching, not with embarrassment, but with the cold focus of someone deciding what a thing is worth. His phone buzzes again. He ignores it. The buzzing turns into a missed call ping. He gathers his papers into a lopsided stack and stands, shoulders hunched, trying to shrink. "I'm leaving now," he says, voice low. "This won't happen again." He steps toward the door. "Wait," her tone shifts. Not softer, just different, like a new folder opening. "You said you're a single dad." Caleb freezes. "Yes, ma'am." "How many kids?" "2," he answers, before he can stop himself. "Sky's 8, Zayden's 5. A flicker crosses her face. It's gone before he can place it. "You have a second job?" He nods, confused. "Nights, cleaning. Enough." She turns toward her desk, taps a tablet, and the room fills with a faint hum from a hidden vent. You opened the wrong door. You saw nothing you were meant to see. Understood? Understood. Good. She doesn't look back. Leave. Caleb opens the door and slips out like smoke, shutting it quietly behind him. The hallway feels hotter than before. He walks 10 steps, 20, then breaks into a half run to the service elevator. His hands shake so badly he drops the reports again, scooping them up while a contractor watches with pity. He gets inside the elevator, hits the button, and finally lets out a breath. The doors close on his reflection, wide eyes, sweat on his brow, tie crooked, badge turned sideways. He looks like a kid who wandered into traffic. The elevator descends. His phone rings again. This time he answers. "Dad?" Sky's voice is small and tight. "They made fun of me again. Ms. Turner said I could call you. Can you come?" He presses his forehead to the cool metal wall. "I'm coming, baby. I'm coming right now." "Are we okay?" she asks. "You sound scared." He swallows the lump in his throat. "We're okay. I promise." He forces his voice to steady. "Hey, what did I tell you about people who laugh at things they don't understand?" "That they're loud because they're empty," Sky says, sniffling. "That's right." His eyes sting. "I'm proud of you." The elevator dings at the lobby. Caleb steps out, shoulders squared, already calculating time, buses, pickup lines. But his thoughts keep snapping back to that office, to her stillness, to the way she said, "Look at me." What just happened? And what does she do to people who make mistakes this big? If you were in Caleb's shoes, would you quit before they could fire you, or stay and face whatever comes next? Welcome. So glad you're here. Hit like and subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from. He pushes through the revolving doors into the city heat, the noise of traffic slapping him awake. He tells himself it was a simple, wrong door moment, a bad beat in a long day. Yet the feeling in his gut says it isn't over. Across the street, a black town car idles at the curb. Tinted windows, engine purring low. Caleb doesn't notice it. Not yet. Up on the executive floor, Serafina Vale stands perfectly still in her office, hands braced on her desk, eyes narrowed at the security screen replaying the last 30 seconds. She rewinds it once, twice. Then she makes a call. "Find me everything on Caleb Brooks," she says. "Today." Caleb bolts up 3 flights of school stairs 2 at a time, lungs burning, sweat soaking through his shirt. The hallway smells like pencil shavings and disinfectant. Kids rush past with backpacks swinging, and for a second he feels like he's underwater, moving while the world blurs. He spots Sky in the counselor's office doorway, chin tucked, eyes red. When she sees him, her whole body releases, like her bones were holding their breath. He kneels, pulls her into a hug. She grips his shirt hard. "I'm sorry," she whispers. "No," he says, kissing her hair. "You don't ever apologize for somebody else being cruel." He signs a form with shaky hands and walks her out, keeping his arm around her shoulders. She talks quietly about a boy who snatched her sketchbook and called her drawings weird. Caleb listens, nodding, trying to stay present. But the picture of that wrong door keeps flashing in his head like a warning light. Back at their apartment that night, Zayden is sprawled on the rug, building a rocket out of cereal boxes. Sky sits at the kitchen table, drawing with the stubborn focus of a kid who refuses to be beaten. Caleb fries eggs, the oil popping loud in the pan. His phone stays face down beside the salt shaker. At 8:47 p.m., it buzzes. Unknown number. He wipes his hands on a towel and answers, expecting a debt collector. "Mr. Brooks?" a woman's voice asks, crisp and professional. "This is Nadia, executive assistant to Ms. Vale." Caleb's stomach drops so fast, he thinks he might throw up. He steps into the hallway outside his apartment, lowering his voice. "Yes, this is Caleb. Ms. Vale requests your presence tomorrow at 9 a.m., boardroom 27F. His mouth goes dry. "For what reason?" "She'll explain when you arrive." Caleb grips the phone harder. The hallway light flickers. Am I in trouble?" A pause. "I can't speak to that. Be on time." The call ends. He stares at the screen, feeling the floor tilt under him. Tomorrow at 9. Boardroom 27F. He's never been past the 14th floor. People like him don't get summoned to penthouse boardrooms unless something's wrong. He leans his head against the doorframe, eyes closing. Fear rises hot in his chest, not for himself, but for the kids inside. Sky needs stability. Zayden needs medicine for his asthma. Rent is due in 10 days. His job is the only thing holding their little life together. "Dad?" Sky calls from inside. "You okay?" He walks back in with a smile glued on. "Yeah, baby, just work stuff." She studies him too long. "Are they being mean to you too?" His throat tightens. He crouches beside her chair. "No, and even if they were, I can handle it. That's my job." Zayden runs over, arms up. "Rocket's done. Wanna see?" Caleb lifts him, spins him once, and forces a laugh. "Show me, big man." They eat dinner in the living room. Caleb makes silly sound effects for the rocket launch. He listens to Sky explain the details of her new comic character. Captain Comet, who always saves the underdog. He laughs in the right places. He nods. He pretends his brain isn't calculating worst-case endings. After bedtime, Calvan sits on the couch in the dark. The apartment smells like warm soap and crayons. He opens his worn folder of bills. He stares at the numbers, the late fees. The thin line they're walking. He tries to rehearse what to say tomorrow. Apology, explanation, respect. He can't find a sentence that doesn't sound like begging. The next morning comes too fast. He drops the kids at school with a hug that lasts a beat longer than usual. Sky notices. "You sure you're okay?" "I'm good," he lies, tapping her nose. "Remember, loud people are empty." She nods, brave face on. Zayden waves, skipping toward the doors. Caleb drives to Rovik's with a knot in his chest. The lobby is marble and perfume and coffee steam. His badge beeps at the turnstile, and for a second he thinks it won't open. It does. Elevator up. Floor numbers tick past like a countdown he didn't ask for. 15th, 20th, 26th. His ears pop at 27. The doors slide open to a hallway so quiet it feels like a museum. He follows sleek signs to boardroom 27F. His palms sweat. He wipes them on his pants. The glass wall reveals a long, polished table, black leather chairs, a skyline view like a movie set. Inside, Serafina Vale stands alone, near the window, hands behind her back. She doesn't turn when he enters. The city looks small behind her, like she's bigger than it. "Close the door," she says softly. Caleb obeys, throat tight. "Sit," she says. He sits. She turns slowly, eyes on him, like he's a line item she's deciding to keep or cut. "You're late by 42 seconds. "I'm sorry." She walks closer. heels silent on the carpet. Do you know why I called you here? No, ma'am. She studies him a moment too long. Tell me the truth. Yesterday, why were you really on my floor? Caleb's jaw clenches. If he lies, he's dead. If he tells the truth, he might still be dead. I had a delivery for Suite 7G. I got a call from my daughter's school, and I made a mistake. I opened the wrong door. Serafina's face stays calm, but her eyes sharpen. You didn't take a photo. You didn't call anyone. You didn't run to gossip. No, he says fast. I'd never. She tilts her head. Why not? Because I'm trying to raise my kids to be decent people. I can't preach that and then act like... He stops himself. Like what? Like I'm entitled to someone else's private moment. Silence lands between them, not awkward, dense. She looks away, just for a second, and the shift is tiny, but real. Then she says, You're a janitor at night. Yes. And payroll shows you take extra shifts on weekends. Yes. Why? Caleb breathes in, steadying. Because kids eat every day. So do landlords. And asthma inhalers don't pay for themselves. Her eyes flick to his hands, rough around the knuckles, then back up. You have debt. He flinches. I'm working on it. She nods once, like she already knew. You're going to help me with something. Caleb blinks. Help you? We'll get there. She takes a seat across from him, folding her hands. First, understand this. What happens next decides whether your life stays the same or changes in ways you can't undo. Caleb's pulse thumps in his throat. She slides a thin folder toward him. It has his name on it. Open it, she says. His fingers tremble as he pulls it closer. Inside are photos of him in the building after midnight, logs of his cleaning routes, notes about his kids, even a screenshot from a school fundraiser page with Sky's face smiling beside a drawing. His blood goes cold. How do you have this? He whispers. Serafina leans forward. Because I don't leave my safety to chance. And because I need someone close to the ground who sees what most people miss. He looks up, stunned. And the room seems to tilt again. What are you asking me to do? He says. She holds his gaze, voice low. Something that could save this company or expose the people trying to bleed it dry. Caleb opens his mouth to speak, but she cuts in with a final, quiet line. Say yes, and you'll be in the line of fire with me. Caleb stares at the folder, then at her. Trying to read the room the way you read a street before crossing. The boardroom smells like black coffee and fresh leather. Outside the glass, clouds drift slow over the city. Inside, time feels tight. I don't understand, he says, voice hoarse. Why me? Serafina doesn't blink. Because you're invisible to the people I'm hunting. He shifts in the chair. Hunting? She rises and walks to the window, looking down at the streets far below. Her voice stays smooth, but it carries a hard edge. Someone inside Rovix is moving money off the books, not petty theft, deep cuts. It's been going on for 2 years. The board has theories, the auditors have charts. I need facts. Caleb sits still, spine straight, hands on his knees so she can't see them shake. Why not just call the cops? She turns back. Not until I know who it is. Not until I know how many. A beat of silence. Then she adds, and not until I know who on my board is protecting them. Caleb's eyes go wide. You think it's that high? I don't think, she taps the folder. I know, and I can't trust anyone who has a title in this building. He swallows. But I'm just facilities. Exactly. She walks closer again, the sound of her heels faint but sharp. You move through hallways at night where executives forget they're being watched. You empty bins that people throw things into without thinking. You hear doors close. You see faces. You notice patterns. Caleb exhales slowly, trying to keep his breathing even. If this is a trap, he's already caught. If this is real, he's stepping into something way bigger than rent. You want me to spy? He says. I want you to observe. She keeps her tone clean. No breaking into offices, no stealing files. You report what you see, what you hear, and what you find in trash. I'm assigning you to Conference Corridor C for night shifts. There will be meetings there this week. You clean. You listen. You note who stays late, who slips into rooms they don't belong in. That's dangerous. She nods. Yes. Caleb feels heat in his chest now, not fear, anger. I've got kids. I can't play James Bond for a paycheck. Her mouth twitches, not quite a smile. This isn't a game, Mr. Brooks. I understand that. He leans forward. But why should I trust you? Yesterday, I made a mistake and saw you in a private moment. Today, I'm sitting here with a file on me and my children. That's scary. Her eyes narrow slightly, but not in offense. More like she respects the question. You shouldn't trust me. Not yet. He blinks. She says, you should trust what you want for your family. Caleb lets out a short laugh that has no humor in it. I want my kids to stop moving every year. I want to stop choosing between groceries and inhalers. I want Sky to feel like she belongs somewhere. Serafina's gaze softens by a millimeter. Then this helps you. How? She slides a second envelope across the table. This is a contract, temporary role. Special operations under my direct instruction. Triple your current weekly pay. Health coverage for you and both children, if you choose to accept. Caleb stares at the number and feels his body go light. It's more money than he's ever seen on one page. He looks up, suspicious. Why would you pay a janitor that? Because you're risking more than a janitor's life, she pauses. And because I don't exploit people who already have enough weight on their backs. That sentence hits him deeper than the money. He doesn't show it. He can't afford to. What's the catch? He asks. Serafina folds her arms. If you say yes, you commit until I say it's done. You don't half-step. You don't talk about it to anyone. If your safety is threatened, you tell me immediately. If you break the agreement, you lose the pay, the position, and your access to this building. Caleb's mouth goes dry. He thinks of Sky's small shoulders in that counselor chair. He thinks of Zayden's wheeze when the air gets cold. He thinks of the fridge at home, half empty, humming like a tired friend. Why are you telling me all this? He asks quietly. You could just order me. Her eyes lift to his. Another silence. She looks like she's choosing her words. Because, she says, I want to know what kind of man you are before I put you in a war you didn't start. The room goes still. Caleb feels like he's on a ledge. He reads the first line of the contract. The paper smells new, crisp. His thumb drags across the ink. Triple pay, benefits, a chance to change everything, or a chance to ruin everything. He looks up. What if I say no? Serafina doesn't flinch. Then you go back to your shift and pretend yesterday never happened. We'll both move on. But understand this. If they keep stealing, this company might collapse. And the first people to lose their jobs won't be executives. It'll be people like you. Caleb's stomach twists. She isn't threatening him. She's telling the truth. He thinks about it for one long breath. Then he says, "Okay, I'll do it." Serafina nods once, satisfied. "Good. Your first shift in Corridor C starts tonight. I'll send instructions." Caleb signs the contract with a hand that feels like it's not his. As he stands to leave, she speaks again. "One more thing. Yesterday, you asked why I didn't react." He pauses at the door. She says, "Because I was testing you." Caleb turns, confused. Her eyes don't move. "I needed to know if you were the kind of man who takes advantage of a moment, or the kind of man who guards it." He can't find a reply. "Go," she says. Caleb slips out, head buzzing. The penthouse air feels thinner. He rides down in silence, gripping the rail. By the time he reaches the service corridor, his phone lights up with a new message. From Serafina. "One last note, do not trust Grady Linmore." Caleb stares at the name, not recognizing it. Then another message follows, shorter, colder. "They're watching you now." Caleb's night shift starts with a squeal of his cleaning cart wheels and the low hum of the building after dark. The lights are dimmed to a soft blue. The air smells like carpet cleaner and leftover takeout hiding in bins. Corridor C sits near R&D, a long, glass-lined hallway with conference rooms like fish tanks. He pushes his mop bucket past a security camera and forces himself not to glance up like a guilty kid. At 9:03 p.m., the first meeting begins. He hears footsteps before he sees them, sharp heels, heavy loafers. Voices too loud for this hour. Men and women in expensive suits drift in, laughing in tight little bursts. Their badges flash gold and platinum. They barely see him. He keeps his head down, wipes fingerprints from glass, empties trash, listens. He hears words like transfer, quarterly patch, offshore. He hears someone joke about keeping Vale in the dark. He hears a voice he recognizes from company town halls, Grady Linmore, the CFO. His tone is oily. He laughs at his own jokes. The others laugh too fast, like they're scared not to. Caleb stops by the snack table, refilling sugar packets, ears tuned hard. His heart beats a little quicker. He didn't want this job to be real, but it is. At 10:21 p.m., the meeting ends. Everyone files out except Grady and two others. They stay inside Conference C2, door half closed, the blind not fully drawn. Caleb wipes the table outside slow, giving himself a reason to be close. Grady says, "We need another fall guy lined up. Vale's getting suspicious." A woman answers, low and quick. "We already have one. Facilities guy, single dad, easy to pressure." Caleb's grip tightens on the rag. His stomach knots so hard he can't breathe right. He leans closer to the glass, trying to see faces through the gap. Grady chuckles. "Perfect. People like him don't fight back." Caleb moves away before his legs give out. He ducks into the supply closet, shuts the door softly, and presses his hand to his mouth. The closet smells like bleach and rubber gloves. The dark is thick. His pulse hammers in his ears. He texts Serafina with shaking thumbs. They mentioned a fall guy, facilities guy. Might be me. Grady is involved. 3 dots appear, then disappear, then nothing. He waits, staring at the screen. No reply. He steps back into the hallway and forces himself to keep moving. If they're watching him, panic will paint a target on his back. At 11:15 p.m., he finds a torn envelope in the trash outside C2. He slides it into his pocket without looking. His palms sweat. His phone buzzes. "Sky," he answers fast. "Hey, baby." Dad, she whispers. I woke up and you weren't here. I'm working, Sky. You're with Ms. Janelle, right? She's on the couch? Yeah, but Zayden's coughing again. The inhaler's almost empty. Caleb shuts his eyes. He feels the guilt hit like a wave. Okay, I'll stop by the pharmacy after my shift. You did good calling me. Are you mad at me? No, never, he swallows. Listen, if anyone knocks, you don't open the door. You hear me? Not even if they say they're from the building. Sky goes quiet. Why? Just a rule tonight. Promise me. I promise. Her voice trembles. Dad, are you in trouble? Before he can answer, he hears footsteps approaching. A shadow crosses the glass. Caleb lowers his voice. I'm okay. I love you. Go back to sleep. He ends the call and turns. Grady Linmore is standing 10 feet down the hall, hands in pockets, leaning like he owns the air. His suit jacket is off, sleeves rolled. He looks casual. That's what makes him scary. Working late, huh? Grady says, smiling like they're friends. Caleb's mouth dries. Yes, sir, just cleaning up. Grady strolls closer. His cologne hits first, sharp and sweet. He glances at the mop, then at Caleb's badge. You're the single dad, right? 2 kids? Caleb's chest tightens. Yes, sir. Must be hard. Grady shakes his head like he cares. Life comes at you fast when you don't have a partner. Caleb nods once, careful. I manage. Grady steps closer until there's only a few feet between them. His voice drops. You ever feel like you're drowning, trying to keep a roof over their heads? Caleb doesn't answer. His throat is too tight. Grady smiles wider. I've been there. I'd hate to see you lose this job over misunderstandings. Caleb forces a steady voice. I don't want any misunderstandings, sir. Good. Grady pats his shoulder. Light, quick, like a brand. Then keep your head down. Floors need shining. Ears don't. Grady walks off, whistling low. Caleb stands frozen. His skin feels hot where Grady touched him. He watches Grady disappear around the corner, then exhales slowly. He checks his phone again. Still no reply from Serafina. He pushes his cart toward the elevators, heart thumping, mind racing. If Grady already knows about him, the game is moving faster than he can run. In the parking garage at midnight, he finds a thin black sedan parked beside his beat-up Honda. The sedan wasn't there when he came in. Its windows are dark. The engine is off, but the air around it feels occupied. Caleb slides into his car, locks the doors, and starts the engine with shaking hands. In his rearview mirror, the black sedan's headlights snap on. It begins to follow him. Caleb takes 3 wrong turns on purpose, cutting through empty downtown streets, slick from a light rain. Neon signs blur across his windshield. The city smells like wet asphalt and late-night fries. Every time he changes lanes, the black sedan changes too, steady, patient, not rushed, like it's certain he'll run out of road. His knuckles are white on the wheel. He thinks about Sky, asleep behind a deadbolt. Zayden's cough. The way Grady said, ears don't. He pulls into a 24-hour gas station, bright enough to hurt his eyes. He parks under the camera, kills the engine, and waits. The sedan rolls in and stops 2 spaces away. No one gets out. The lights stay on. Caleb's breath comes shallow. He slides his phone out, texts Serafina again. He warned me, a car is tailing me now. 3 dots appear. This time, a reply comes fast. Go home. Do not stop. I'm sending someone. Caleb looks up, confused. He's already stopped. His pulse jumps. The sedan's driver door opens. A man steps out, tall, broad, hood up despite the lack of rain. He walks toward Caleb's car with hands visible. Caleb's mind screams to drive, but his body won't move. The man stops by Caleb's window, taps once. Caleb cracks the window an inch. "Mr. Brooks?" the man asks. His voice is low, calm. "Who are you?" Caleb demands. "Name's Darius." The man lifts a badge. Private security, not Rovix, something else. "Ms. Vale sent me." Caleb's shoulders sag without permission. Relief hits so hard it makes his eyes sting. She sent you?" Darius nods once, scanning the sedan behind them. "Get back on the road. I'll ride behind you. If they move, I move." Caleb hesitates. "What if—" "Let's not find out," Darius says. Caleb pulls out, Darius's SUV sliding into place behind him. The black sedan stays on them for 2 miles, then peels off, vanishing into a side street like it never existed. By the time Caleb reaches his apartment complex, the sky is turning gray. Birds are starting up. The parking lot smells like damp concrete and old pine trees. Darius parks nearby and stays in his vehicle, watching. Caleb climbs the stairs fast, heart still rattling. He unlocks the door, slips inside. The living room lamp is on. Ms. Janelle, their neighbor, is asleep in the recliner, a blanket across her lap. Skye is curled on the couch, sketchbook on her stomach. Zayden's little chest rises and falls quick, inhaler on the coffee table. Caleb kneels beside his son, listening to the soft whistle in each breath. He presses a kiss to Zayden's forehead, then looks at Skye. Her face is scrunched in sleep, like she's bracing even in dreams. He hears a soft knock. He freezes, his gut tightens. Another knock, firmer. Caleb grabs the baseball bat by the umbrella stand and steps to the door. He doesn't breathe. He looks through the peephole. Serafina Vale stands in the hallway. No blazer, no heels, just a dark coat. Hair tucked behind one ear, eyes serious. Behind her, Darius stands to the side like a wall. Caleb opens the door, stunned. "Ms. Vale, what are you doing here?" She steps in without waiting for permission, gaze sweeping the apartment fast. Her eyes land on the couch, on the kids, on the inhaler. A faint crease forms between her brows. "You didn't answer when I called back," she says quietly. "I was driving. Someone followed me." "I know," her voice is tight. "I had eyes on you." Caleb's jaw drops. "You had... what?" She turns toward him, and for the first time, he sees something raw in her face. Not fear, something like regret. "I put you in this, and they moved faster than I expected." He keeps his voice low so he doesn't wake the kids. "Grady knows about me." "I know." She glances again at Skye's sketchbook. "He's using you as a shield." Caleb swallows hard. "Then why bring me into it at all? I told you I have kids. I can't lose them because of your company war." Serafina takes a step closer, lowering her voice. "Look at me." He does. She's standing in his tiny apartment like a person who doesn't belong in tight spaces. But her eyes aren't cold now. They're focused, searching. "Your kids are not collateral," she says. "Not to me." Caleb's laugh is quiet, but bitter. "That's easy to say when you don't live here." Her gaze flicks around, at the chipped paint, the stack of overdue envelopes on the counter, the thrift store chairs with duct tape seams. The air smells like yesterday's spaghetti and kids' shampoo. She takes it all in, and something shifts in her posture, small but real. "I didn't realize it was this close for you," she says. Caleb feels heat rise in his eyes. He hates it. People like you don't realize until you see it. Silence holds them. The refrigerator hums. A car passes outside, tires hissing on wet pavement. Sky stirs and mumbles something in her sleep. Serafina turns to the couch, softer now. She walks over and gently pulls Sky's blanket higher. Her hand pauses above Sky's hair, then retreats like she's not sure she's allowed. Caleb watches, throat tight. Serafina straightens and faces him. "I'm going to end this fast, but until I do, I need you to trust me." "Trust you with my kids' lives?" "With mine, too." Her voice is barely above a whisper. Caleb searches her face. "Why are you doing this?" Her eyes hold his. Another silence, longer. Then she says, "Because I don't have anyone else I can trust, and because you're the first person in a long time who looked at me like I was just human." Caleb can't speak. She takes a breath, steadying herself. "There's a board vote in 48 hours. If Grady wins control, he buries the truth and he buries you with it. That clock starts now." Caleb's body goes cold. 48 hours? She nods. "I'll keep Darius outside your building. I'll move you if I have to. But I need you ready." Caleb takes a step back, overwhelmed, and his elbow bumps the counter. A pile of mail slides down. Envelopes scatter, one flipping open to show bold red letters. "Final notice." Serafina sees it. Her jaw tightens. Her eyes lift to his. And in that moment, Caleb realizes the fight he thought was about money is about survival. His, hers, his kids. Serafina reaches into her coat and pulls out a small flash drive. She presses it into his palm. Her fingers are cold. "Keep this hidden," she says. "It has what we need. If anything happens to me, you give it to the press, no matter what they threaten." Caleb's hand curls around it. "What are you not telling me?" Her eyes flick to the door, then back to him. Footsteps sound in the hallway outside. Slow, heavy, coming closer. Serafina's face hardens. "We have company." Caleb turns toward the door as a shadow stops right on the other side. Then someone knocks, 3 times, and a voice he recognizes says, smooth as poison, "Mr. Brooks, open up. We need to talk." The door rattled. Caleb's grip tightened on the bat, his back pressed against the wall as Serafina's eyes flicked to the peephole. Outside, Grady's voice came again, too casual, too calm. "Mr. Brooks, we're just here to ask a few questions. Won't take but a moment." Her whisper cut the air like a wire. "Don't open it." Another knock, louder, heavier. "I know you're in there," Grady said. "You left some footprints in places you weren't supposed to be." Serafina motioned with her hand. "Don't speak." Caleb nodded, frozen. Every muscle in his body was locked. He could hear Sky stirring behind him. Zayden let out a cough from the couch, sharp and dry. Grady's tone shifted. "You've got kids, right? I know what it's like. Pressure, bills. Would hate for anything to disrupt their routine." Serafina stepped closer to the door, eyes sharp, and answered without hesitation. "Leave." A pause, then a slow clap. "So you are in there," Grady said. "Well, that answers that. Funny. I didn't think you'd come down from the clouds for someone like him." Silence stretched. The bat in Caleb's hands was slick with sweat now. "You're making a mistake, Vale," Grady added, quieter now. "You don't know how deep this thing goes. If you push it, Someone's going to get hurt. Her hand fell on the door lock, not to open it, but to bar it. You already hurt the wrong person, she said, a shuffle of footsteps, then retreating silence. No more knocking. Caleb exhaled, shoulders sagging. His chest rose and fell fast. He knows, Serafina nodded. They all know, but they still don't understand who they're dealing with. Caleb sat down hard on the arm of the couch, staring at the floor. What happens now? You rest, she said. You'll need it. He shook his head. I can't just go to sleep. That man threatened my kids. Serafina's voice lowered. I've had my world reduced to ash before. I won't let that happen to you. He looked up at her. She looked tired in a way that was new, not the high-powered kind of tired. Human tired. Why do you even care? For a moment, she didn't answer. Then she said, because I used to think silence kept me safe. It didn't. It just gave power to men like Grady. Caleb's phone buzzed. A text. From an unknown number. Check your mailbox. He looked at her. She nodded. Take Darius with you. Downstairs, the mailbox door squeaked. Inside was a flash drive. No note. No return address. Back in the apartment, Serafina plugged it into her tablet, brows tight as she scrolled through folders. Screenshots, spreadsheets, audio recordings, password logs. All of it pointed to a secret Grady didn't expect anyone to find. Serafina turned the screen to Caleb. This proves Grady and 2 board members diverted $18 million in R&D funds, and they planned to pin it on you. His jaw dropped. They were going to frame me for all that? Her nod was slow. Until now, this was their leverage. But we flip this, and we own the narrative. She copied the files onto 2 other drives. One she gave Caleb. Keep it on you. Don't upload anything until I say. The tension in the room stretched tight. I can't believe they'd go that far, Caleb said. I'm just a janitor. She looked at him, firm. Not anymore. Sky stirred again. This time, her eyes opened. She sat up, blinking. Dad, who's that? Serafina's expression shifted into something almost warm. Hi, Sky. I'm Serafina. Sky looked at her. You're really pretty. Are you here to help my dad? Serafina smiled faintly. I am. Sky nodded, like that settled it. Then curled back up under the blanket. Caleb stood there, heart thudding. That smile. That simple trust. He didn't say it out loud, but something inside him whispered it. I'm in this now. All the way. If you were Caleb, would you risk your family's peace for the truth, or walk away while you still could? If you're watching this far, you're part of this journey now. Like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What would you do? Caleb's badge didn't work the next morning. He swiped it 3 times. Nothing. The turnstile flashed red. A security guard he didn't recognize walked over, hand resting near his holster. Mr. Brooks? The guard said. Caleb nodded slowly. Yeah. You're not cleared to enter today. He tried to keep calm. That's not possible. I have executive clearance through Ms. Vale. Not anymore, the guard cut him off. She's been suspended pending investigation. Caleb froze. What? You'll have to leave the premises, sir. He stepped back as people watched. Workers in suits, some whispering. His skin burned under the attention. He walked out without another word. In his car, he dialed Serafina, straight to voicemail. Again. And again. At home, the silence felt thicker than before. No reply from Darius. No word, nothing. By nightfall, it was on the news. Breaking. Rovik CEO Serafina Vale placed on administrative leave amid allegations of data tampering and fund mismanagement. Caleb dropped his phone on the carpet. His hands were shaking. She had been ahead. Now she was out. They were turning the machine against her. He opened the flash drive. His fingers hovered over the files. He could send them to the press, blow the whole thing wide open. But what if it backfired? What if they traced it to him before the truth could catch up? Sky brought him her drawing. "Dad, I made a new superhero. He cleans up lies." Caleb smiled faintly, throat tight. "He sounds brave." "He doesn't always win, but he never quits." He kissed her forehead. That night, the doorbell rang at 11:07 p.m. Caleb tensed, but when he looked through the peephole, it wasn't Grady. It was a courier. The man handed over a sealed envelope. No return address. Inside, a plane ticket, a key, and a note. "You have to end it now. I've gone underground, but you can finish this. Start with the vault below sub-level 3. The board will be meeting off record tomorrow. This is your one shot. If you lose the building, you lose the truth. S." Caleb read it twice. Then he picked up his phone. The kids were asleep. He'd need help, and someone to watch over them. He called Ms. Janelle. "I need a favor," he said. "Big one. If you had one shot to expose the truth but risk losing everything you love, would you take it? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss what happens next." Sublevel 3 smelled like concrete and rust. The air was colder, older. Caleb slipped past the main stairwell exit, key in hand, and used it on a small black door with no label. The lock clicked open. Inside, an old server vault, steel racks, archived drives, dust thick on every surface. He plugged in the drive Serafina gave him. Lights flickered. The hidden system came to life. Files loaded, layers of proof stacked. Meeting audio, financial records, board member codes. It was the kind of evidence that didn't just expose, it buried. His phone buzzed, unknown number again. He answered. "Hello?" A voice, familiar. Cold. "I told you to walk away, Caleb." Grady. "You never meant to leave me a choice." "I still can protect you. Sign one NDA, hand over that drive. It's over. You'll have money, security. Your kids won't need for anything." Caleb said nothing. Grady continued. "But if you press upload, you don't just end this company. You end your life as you know it. You'll have enemies you can't even see coming." Caleb's voice was calm. "You already made me the fall guy." A pause. "Then be smart and stay quiet." The line went dead. Caleb looked at the screen. One button. Upload. He hesitated. Then he pressed it. The story exploded in less than 6 hours. Major news outlets lit up with headlines. Whistleblower exposes 18mm fraud at Rovik's. Board accused of cover-up. CEO suspension linked to internal sabotage. Social media ran wild. Serafina's reputation flipped in real time, from villain to victim. Caleb stayed offline. He stayed home. He waited for the knock, but it never came. Instead, a letter arrived. Hand-delivered. "Mr. Brooks, the board has dissolved. Investigations have begun, and Ms. Vale has resigned her title, but retained her shares. Effective immediately, she has transferred full interim executive authority to you." Caleb couldn't breathe. The envelope also included new contracts, protection, relocation options, school vouchers, a new job, his job. He dropped into the kitchen chair. His kids were eating cereal. Sky looked up. "Did we win?" He smiled, tears welling. "We did more than that." A second letter sat at the bottom, a plane ticket, one word scribbled in black ink: "Come." The Paris air was cooler than he expected. Crisp, quiet, the kind of quiet that makes everything feel new. Caleb stood in front of the small garden cafe. Sky and Zayden were laughing behind him, chasing pigeons near the fountain. Locals passed without a second glance. And then he saw her, Serafina Vale. Hair pulled back, no heels, no guards, just her. She was sitting at a table, 2 cups of coffee in front of her, watching the kids with a small smile. He walked over, sat down across from her. No words yet, just the sound of water. Wind. Footsteps on cobblestone. She spoke first. Was it worth it? Caleb looked at his kids, then at her. He nodded. Every second. She took a sip of her coffee. "You opened the wrong door, Caleb." He smiled. Maybe it was the only right one. They sat there as morning broke across the city. One man, one woman, and a life neither of them saw coming. This story doesn't end with a period. It ends with a question. What doors are you brave enough to open? If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and leave a comment. Share your thoughts, your fight, your truth, and let your story inspire someone else.